It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Had to record this video because I have something on my spirit, and I know I'm not the only one that needs to hear it. Like I said in my video yesterday, I've been unemployed for 6 months, and I've learned some things. One of the biggest things I've learned is that one of my favorite quotes that I read when I still had a job is from Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek: The Next Generation. And he says, "It is possible to make no errors and still lose. That's not cruelty, that's life." I'm paraphrasing, but feel free to look it up and correct me. But what that means to me, and what that has come to mean to me over these last 6 months, is that you can do everything right. You can dot every I, cross every T. You can go through all the steps they tell you to take. You can shove your authentic self down, become a robot, and become a cog in the wheel. And they tell you if you do these things, you'll have perhaps a taste of success. You might be able to buy a home for yourself and your family. You might be able to take vacations. You might be able to have a life better than your parents. But if for some reason, circumstances beyond your control cause that system to betray you, say a layoff, a medical emergency, anything that you could not possibly plan for, a natural disaster, if you are thrown out of that system, people that are not affected by that layoff, that illness, that natural disaster will look at you and blame you. It's your fault you're here. Isn't that wild? And then when you attempt to get back into the system, you attempt to get back to where you were before this act of God, nobody tells you that it's very possible that you're being sent out into the field with an outdated playbook. The things they told you to do, the steps they told you to take, are no longer valid. They don't work because the world has changed. The game has changed. And so now they want you to jump through more hoops and shove yourself down some more and accept dirt when you weren't even reaching for gold. I know many of us aren't reaching for gold. Some of us just want to be able to eat. Like I said yesterday, most of us just want to be able to pay our bills and live comfortably. Not all of us are trying to be millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires out in these streets. But it's wild to me that that's the reality. Another thing I've learned is that, and it could just be my brain trying to make sense of all of this, but I accept it. When you are thrown out of that system and you look back and you're like, my God, maybe it's the system that's fucked up. And I've internalized the fucked upness of the system. Stuff that had nothing to do with me, I took in and made my identity. And I've been living with these ideas that are not mine, that actually are the antithesis of who I truly am. See, I don't know if a lot of you follow me on Instagram, but a couple days ago, I posted a series of Instagram stories where I talked about a conversation I had with my best friend about naps, about taking naps during the day. And my best friend asked me, do you feel that if you take a nap during the day, that it's going to mess up your sleep at night? I said, no, that's actually not my concern. And as I thought about it, I realized that I felt guilty about having the ability to take naps during the day because I'm unemployed and I'm home. Because my best friend is working all these overtime hours. He can't take a nap when he wants to take a nap. He's at work. He's actually asleep right now. In a couple hours, he's going to wake up and I'm going to drive him to work. And on my stories, I related it to when we were children and when we would eat dinner. And if we had anything left on our plate, our parents would look at us and be like, hey, you need to eat all of that. There are starving children in Ghana. And I want to believe that our parents know that us eating our food in that moment won't help that starving child in Ghana. Okay? But if I'm going to come from a place of compassion and empathy, I have to remember that our parents and our grandparents learned from their parents. So our grandparents and our great-grandparents probably lived through the Great Depression where food was scarce. So yes, you needed to eat everything on your plate because you didn't know where your next meal was going to be, where it was going to come from. But they equate not eating all the food on your plate with being ungrateful. So you internalize leaving food on your plate with not appreciating what you have. Being ungrateful for the blessing of food. That's what leads some people to becoming overweight. That's a completely different conversation. We can have that another day. So it's the same with rest. I also said, like, I feel like if I take a nap, that's time taken away from what else I need to be doing. I should be working harder to change my situation. And then it hits me. I'm doing all I can do. I'm tailoring my resume. I paid $450, actually upwards of $550, to have my resume professionally written, to have it sent out on certain job sites. Where's my job? I'm doing everything I know to do. And I'm still unemployed. So what difference is taking an hour nap going to make? Not one. It's not going to make a lick of difference. So this weekend, you know what I did? When I started getting sleepy, I took naps. And baby, my mental health, I live in Los Angeles County. The closest wildfire was about 40 miles from me. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I never had an evacuation order. And we don't smell smoke. But staying up and checking the Watch Duty app, doom scrolling, baby, this brain was on high alert. The anxiety was up here. So those naps were godsends. So what I've come to realize is that this unemployment era, as I call it, this unemployment era, has been a way, I think it's happening to allow me to deprogram the bullshit that I've internalized, the stuff that never had anything to do with me, the stuff that suppresses my authentic self. I'm deprogramming from it. I'm unlearning it. I'm purging it because I don't accept it anymore. People want to talk about an obesity epidemic. Yeah, because we spend 2 hours in our cars commuting, sitting at our desks for 8 to 10 hours, 2 hours commuting home. When do we have time to work out? Oh, Americans eat the most fast food of any country. Yeah, because we're tired. We have no time to cook. We have no time to grab the healthiest option if we don't have help. So of course, this is the situation. That's how it was designed, baby. And if you rebel against that, you're wrong. That's why rest is revolutionary. That's why joy, finding joy, and I'm going to get into that right now. Finding joy in the midst of all of this darkness, this nightmarish hellscape that we are currently living in, have been living in. Finding joy in the midst of this is revolutionary because they don't expect you. How can you be happy? When you find the light in the darkness, oh baby, the power you hold. Because they don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to find joy. And when you do, they try to stamp it out. Because when you find joy, you give others the courage to find joy. See, I'm experiencing euphoria right now. Because do you know how much I've missed making YouTube videos? This isn't the style of YouTube video I thought I was going to make when I returned to YouTube. I'm sitting in my car in a head wrap and big old Hollywood celebrity sunglasses. But I'm so happy because this is what I feel led to do right now. Because like I said, somebody needs to hear this. Finding your light in the midst of the darkness is revolution, and it's how you fight back. If you can do nothing else, if you've donated everywhere you've donated, if you've lifted up everybody you can think to lift up, if you've done all you can, and you go inward, and you find your light, you find your joy, you love yourself when people tell you you should have no reason to love yourself. When you frolic and you're happy when people believe you should have no reason to be happy, oh, that goes against the system, baby. And they hate that. That's my mission. Not just for the world at large, because I do believe I have a message and a mission, and that's why I'm on this earth. But because the only way to stay sane is to find your joy, is to find your light, is to cultivate your own happiness. Because like I said yesterday, it is damn near impossible to think about your dreams when you're living in a nightmare. Another thing I've learned is that people are afraid. That's why people are lashing out. That's why when you tell people that the system is broken, they're like, no, it's you. Because they're terrified. Because they know it could very well be them. And they're like, if the system isn't working for them, what does that mean? What is gonna happen if that's me? I was told by AppleCare. See, I followed all the steps and it's not affecting me. What do you mean it could possibly affect me? So they put up this defense. Oh, people are so defensive when you tell them that the system is broken and it'll turn against them too. And just like I said, the very people you kick today are going to be the people that you're going to need to pick you up tomorrow. I have learned that I've had time to reconnect with my spirituality. And one of the things that I heard during meditation was use old ways to do new things. And I'm still not 100% sure what that means. But when I've talked to some other friends, all of them said the same thing. Get back to creating content. I don't expect a payday from YouTube. This is a creative and emotional outlet for me. Like I said, I woke up and the first thing I thought to do was get in the car and make this video. And after the video I made yesterday, oh my God, I felt so much lighter. And trust and believe, this is not going to be the format all the time. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for a lot. Even though, according to some, I have nothing to be grateful for. But I'm grateful that I have a best friend who stepped all the way up to take care of the both of us, because he knows I would do the same for him if the tables were turned. I'm grateful that I do have the time to deprogram, to unlearn, to purge, and reconnect with my authentic self so that when I am thrust back, I'm strong enough in who I am at my core to not fall back in. Because that's what happened when I first moved out here to California. I forgot the dream that I moved out here for. And I truly believe that the universe had to rip my job away so that I could remember who the fuck I was and reconnect with the dreams that I have here. It hurts. I have people constantly asking me, because it's been so hard, if I'm planning to move back home to New York City. And I said no. Even with the fires, people are like, are you gonna? No. And I'll tell you why. And I made a blog post about it. If I remember, I'll link my blog down below. Every time something got difficult, every time I was faced with a challenge, every time something got boring, every time something did not feel good when I was on any type of journey, I would quit. I would turn tail and flee. And honestly, that's why I'm where I am in my life. I truly believe that. But I was led out here. The divine told me to come to California, told me to come to Los Angeles specifically. But y'all already know the story of why I live in the town that I live in. If you don't, let me know. I'll tell you. But I was led out here. I refuse to believe that my spirit team would lead me out here and just be like, well, you got it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Nope. As a girl on Thread said, I didn't come all this way just to come all this way. I didn't do what I came out here to do yet. So no, I'm not ready to leave. I'm going to dig my heels in, stick my chin out. LA will rise from the ashes, and so will I. Like dust, still I rise. It's hard, and it will always be darkest before the dawn. But just like the sun is rising right now, just like Loki said to Thor, the sun will shine on us again. Oof. And it's going to be bigger, more beautiful, and better than anybody's ever seen. I truly believe that my comeback is going to be so spectacular. That's what gets me excited. Let me go back real quick before I end this video. Another thing that I've learned, again, bucking against the system. One of the things I think, I got to the last round of an interview back in November. Haven't had an interview since November. But I was asked what my priorities were. And I said my health. My physical health, my mental health, my spiritual health, my financial health. Those are my priorities. I was asked basically what my work ethic was. And I said, I'm the type of person that would rather do it right, take my time to do things right the first time. Because I've learned, not just in corporate, but in every area of my life, I've learned that if I rush, I end up putting myself further behind. Because when you rush, you make mistakes that could easily be prevented. And then you have to take the time to go back and fix those mistakes. And people will still look at you like, why did you make these mistakes? Well, you told me you needed it done yesterday. But when you take your time, people are like, you're not doing it fast enough. And it's like, do you want it done or do you want it done right? Everybody thinks their shit is priority. They want it done when they want it done. And it's like, listen, I'm trying to give you the best of me. So yeah, it might take some time. But you know, when I give you the finished product, it's going to be done right. And all you'll need to do is maybe double check it once and then you can go on about your day. I don't think they liked that. Because everybody's so driven and hustle and grind, and you have to get this done in 2.5 seconds when you know that you can do your best work in 5 seconds. I don't need to be in an environment. I don't need to be in an environment where I'm not, where that's the type of, and that's everywhere, you know? And I know if somebody watches this, they're like, but you're never going to get a job. You're never going to work in corporate America, because that's everywhere. Why don't we change it? There are more of us than there are of them. So why don't we change it? Are we afraid of everybody having an equal slice of pie? I don't know. But we need to get over that. The only way out is through, and the only way we're going to make it through is together. So what I've learned is that, yeah, even though I might need to get a bridge job, it's time for me to forge a new path. Because who I am at my core does not operate that way. And I don't need to anymore. I'm 42. In a few months, I'll be 43. I still have maybe 40 years left. I'm not going to live my life the way I've lived the first 40 years. I've spent this past 6 months doing the inner work, doing the shadow work, doing the inner child healing work. And I'm no longer healing my inner child. I'm living in tandem with the past versions of myself, while looking forward to becoming my future self. And that's an amazing place to be. A lot of people aren't able to do that because of the hustle culture, the grind culture. Capitalism. We're running to the ground and then sold stuff that's supposed to pick us back up. I don't know if effectively this is what being radicalized is, but if that's what it is, call me a radical then, baby. Because I believe in joy. I believe in empathy and compassion. I believe in doing the right thing. I believe in doing shit for me, for me. I realized that I used to do a lot of things. I used to post every thought that I had because I was so desperate for people to be proud of me. I don't need anybody to be proud of me anymore. I need to be proud of me. I finally understand when people say that you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be happy and content with the way that you have lived your life. And the fact that for all of these years, I was doing everything that I was told to do, becoming a person who is the antithesis of who I truly am, suppressing my true self, suppressing my creativity, denying the dreams that I had, because I thought that this construct was who I needed to be in order to achieve some semblance of success in this life. And still damn near losing everything. That'll open your eyes real wide, baby. So I'm gonna close this out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Start your own little revolution with yourself. You might be shocked by what you see. Later.